Now, new, live, and local, and every weekday from 8 to 9 a.m. This is the show talking about what you want to know, what you need to know, and part of Woof Boom Radio's mission to use our voice to build our community. The all-new Delaware County Today, presented by Muncie Community Schools. Now on WMUN, the Talk of Muncie. Here's your host, Director of News Operations and lead morning anchor, Steve Lindell.
Here's what people are talking about. April 29, police still searching and now charges filed in Muncie. Weather update, I mowed right before it rained yesterday. Big win. Local news summary hits 8:21 at 8:30. Another in our Meet the Candidates segment and series. You will meet another one running for something on primary day, May the 5. Let's get our weather first and foremost. We have a meteorologist for that, WMUN's Paul Poteet.
Good morning. It will be kind of dreary to start with today, but no severe weather, no heavy rain. The National Weather Service did confirm 3 different tornadoes on the storms of Monday evening, all down into southern Indiana, one north of Cortland and 2 of them near Mooresville, Indiana. Of course, we had the heavy rain, couple of inches worth. The amounts will be smaller today, but there will be showers around in the morning, and then a chance will linger into the afternoon, but they would be more spotty as the day goes on. High of 62. Clouds decrease tonight with a low of 40. Partly sunny, 59 on Thursday. Another little wave rolls through here with scattered showers after sunset Thursday night into Friday morning. And then some sun, Friday's high 55. Our biggest frost risk is going to be Friday night into Saturday morning with a low of 34. And partly sunny for the weekend, 55 Saturday and 64 on Sunday. That's the WMUN weather story this morning. Let's get some more stories about what's happening elsewhere with Steve.
Hey, thank you, Paul Poteet. As we just heard a moment ago, that low temperature predicted by Paul Poteet was confirmed by Ted Baker, my guest, to be the low temperature on commencement morning. That's just great timing, isn't it?
Mr. Jackman's going to have to wait.
Hold on a second. The microphone's not working. Well, hold the phone. It's not a you thing. Take that orange cord and just kind of jiggle it. Now talk into it.
Testing.
Look at you. You're a radio engineer.
I'm a tech head.
Wow.
I think Mr. Jackman's going to have to wear a jacket.
Jackman
No.
jacket? Is
No.
that what you're saying?
No.
Yeah. It's going to be nippy. There's no doubt about it. So what we have here is we have an innovation technologist. He is Ted Baker. I just gave him a new title. What? You don't like that?
All things tech.
The Muncie Innovation Connector, our sponsored segment. We're in the good presence of Ted Baker. I've asked you off air several times, and I wondered if I might put you on the spot right now. Ted Baker, what do you do?
What do I do? Well, it's been asked a lot of times.
Okay.
But what I do is I love to help people with their businesses. An idea, a startup idea, a dream that they had about a business, and we just try to process that with them to help them realize those dreams. So for me, I just get to help people. And I think that's a calling that most people in life somehow have. It just so happens mine has to associate with business.
Does that question you said get asked a lot? You alluded to that a moment ago. Where does that question come from? Generally speaking, who asks that question of you?
Well, first of all, my wife, and then
That's where I was leading.
Yeah. Second of all, just other people wondering, what do you do there? What happens in that building? Because we often think of the Innovation Connector as not just a space, right? But it's a pipeline system that intentionally moves entrepreneurs through stages of business development. And that's kind of the big picture of what we do.
The Muncie Innovation Connector is our guest on WMUN's Delaware County Today. I'm Steve Lindell. We are in Studio B as He recalled seconds before he walked onto the campus. I appreciate that, Ted Baker. The building behind the main building. You're
B for
absolutely-
behind. That's my simple mind
That
working.
is not what the B stands for, but it really can be whatever you want it to be. Could be the Baker Building.
That's right. Yeah.
Look at me making stuff up and sponsor opportunities. Is there a methodology to your madness? Do you do things in a certain kind of a way or order, sir?
In some way, yes. But we do follow 3 basic pillars of what we call the 3 pillars of entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And these are things that we've just worked on over the years. The first one is like, what is the opportunity or what is the problem that you're going to solve? We kind of help people get to a place where the go, no go kind of thing. Is this valid or not? We have processes to help people determine that for themselves. We don't have to give them the news, right? Second of all, it takes talent and people. And so we found out that it's hard to do this all by yourself. And so we teach people how to do it, coaching, advising, and such. And then the third thing is they need resources. If it's a village behind them, if it's capital, but we tend to work with resources that they need for their businesses. The thing about the Innovation Connector that's different than a lot of incubators is we help people right where they're at. So if they dreamed about a business the night before and call us, or if they've been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, we help them right where they're at, which makes it a lot of fun. So in a way, we're kind of like doctors. We pick you up right where you're at.
And you've talked about this before, and it bears repeating. Small business drives America.
America, that's right. 99.6, something like that, % of all businesses in America are small businesses. And so it drives our economy.
And what we do with our friends that become our friends at your place is we help them to have their goals to be achieved. Are there certain instances where your advice to a prospective idea person is it's probably not a good idea, and here's why?
Mm-hmm. So the goal is to get them to determine that.
Okay.
But sometimes you just need to say it.
Okay.
And we have to do that sometimes. But I think the whole idea is to get them to come to that point and have them process through their minds, because then they're settled once and for all for it. The other thing is, I'm not really good at telling people if it's a good idea or bad idea.
Oh, okay.
Because there was a time where someone told me that there was going to be a device that you could hold in your hand, that no longer would you have to go to the wall and pick up this thing to talk to people on a cord, right? That it would find you wherever you're at. And I told them that would never work. So I have to be really careful.
I have a really good story about that, too. It's somewhat related. I was sitting years and years ago.
Oh, decades.
At a live, it really was. It was decades. At a live action broadcast for one of our radio stations here in Muncie, Indiana. It was at a car dealership, and I was sitting there with the manager and another person from the dealership. And they had one of those newfangled sort of devices sitting next to them. It was quite big at the time. No. Actually, theirs was a BlackBerry. Do you remember BlackBerries?
Oh, yeah. I still have mine.
So they were on their BlackBerry, and I said to them, I can't remember all the words I shared, but I said, you know, I'm never gonna have one of those on my hip. I'm because you don't need you need to do is you need to talk to people. You need to be face to face. You need to be sharing and interacting, and that's gonna take away, and it's never gonna take off.
Right. And someday they're going to say, hey, remember we had those things on our hips that were phones? We talked in them actually, but now we don't talk them anymore. We just take pictures.
I was going to say, mine is way less of a cell phone talking device anymore than it is a really great camera.
I know. It is great.
Somebody thought of that too. I bet they went to an innovation connector kind of place somewhere along the line.
I'm sure they did, and that's why they're so successful. But, Steve, going back to the practical ways we help people, first of all, we ask people, is the idea worth doing? That's the question. The second one is, can you do it? It may not happen, but can you do it if you do it? And then what will it take to scale and survive? If we can have them answer those questions, they're well along their way. And that's a joy. That's a lot of fun.
We use the word as a business word around here a lot at WMUN and Wolf Boom Radio. Is it sustainable too? Correct. The idea, I assume that is a component as well.
Right. That is correct. And that's the word survive. Yeah, because in business, you need to be sustainable, but through the first couple years, survivability is the big part.
Ted Baker is the leader of the gang that run the Muncie Innovation Connector. Where are you, and how may they connect with you and your people?
We're at the corner of White River Boulevard and Jackson Streets right here in Muncie, right before you go over the bridge of the White River, and then you can call us. Or best way is just innovationconnector.com.
All right, very good. Do you know any graduates by chance? Since commencement is coming on Saturday, do you have any connections at all to that one?
But I do want to say this.
Yeah.
I want to wish a happy birthday to my only son. Today's his birthday.
Aw.
And the reason is, he's older, it doesn't make a difference anymore, but he's the father of our newest grandson just 2 weeks ago. So, yes.
What name?
Oscar Sullivan.
I love Oscar.
So,
Oscar's a great name.
Now my son is relevant again.
I'm sure he appreciates your
Yes.
comments in that regard.
But happy birthday, Jay.
That's great. Awesome. Thank you, Ted Baker.
Thanks,
Muncie
Steve.
Innovation Connector, our monthly sponsored segment as we're getting underway with our hour-long live program from Studio B on WMUN.
You know the feeling. That rush when you reach that goal? Make somebody brag a little back home? That's success. And at University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why UMGC offers an accredited skills-based education that helps move your career forward. We'll teach you how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science, plus build your skills in leadership, communication, and critical thinking. Explore more than 135 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. With affordable and online programs, you can unlock new opportunities to help you succeed again. At UMGC, success is yours for the taking and the making, and nothing should keep you from it, especially not an application fee. Apply now and we'll waive your application fee. Classes start May 13th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
As you know, managing maintenance, repair, and operations is never easy. But for the ones who always rise to the challenge, Grainger has your back. From professional-grade products you can count on to fast, dependable delivery, they're there to help you keep things running smoothly. Plus, their technical product specialists are here to help answer your toughest questions. And because Grainger knows safety is always a priority, they're committed to being your partner in protecting both your people and your facilities. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by.
Too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community School.
Inside Studio B, as I put on my video smile, we are video recording as we do every day. It uploads to our YouTube page later in the morning. That's youtube.com, and search for Woof Boom Studio B. Couple of news items here, and then the rest of our local news summary. First and foremost, the search continues. As of the last update at 5:21ish yesterday afternoon, they are still now looking for 32-year-old Devontae Marquise Williams, and charges have been filed now. The charges yesterday in Delaware Circuit Court 5, carrying up to 40 years in prison. This is related to gunshots that were fired on Sunday night in Muncie. 2 people were injured. Last condition check was stable on both of them. Anyone with information about Williams' whereabouts are please asked to call the Muncie Police Detective, 765-747-4867, or you can call the dispatch number, which is 765-747-4838. They are still considering this suspect to be armed and dangerous. That coming directly from the Muncie Police Department. The Star Press also saying, according to court records, The suspect has been convicted of crimes previously, including possession of cocaine, carrying a handgun without a license, and leaving the scene of an accident. These new charges are related to the Sunday evening shooting that happened in Muncie that we reported on shortly after it occurred. Next item for you is power. It was better as of 4 yesterday afternoon, and I bet it's even better today. This is from Indiana, Michigan Power. At 4 o'clock yesterday, they were down to 371 Muncie customers still without juice, and I bet by now it's probably smaller than that. The crews were working so hard in the wake of those huge storms and winds. Our power at our house, Nancy and myself on the northwest side of Muncie, was out for many hours, but they got us back and running. A lot of these are having to do with broken power poles and lines down. That's dangerous and more difficult to fix, so it takes them a little more time. Plus, when there's scattered power outages as opposed to one big, huge one, those are also more challenging. I've talked to the power company loads of times on the radio for news coverage purposes, so please don't be frustrated, as best you can. If you're still out of juice, they're working as hard as they can. Now to the rest of our local news summary. These stories airing now for you on WMUN. Ball State men's volleyball star Patrick Rogers is designated as an NCAA elite athlete. Athletic Director Jeff Mitchell says that's a first for his tenure with the Cardinals, and it also comes with some significant perks.
He can go to Coach Iandolo or any of the coaches and say, hey, I need to get some work in, and it can be permissible, right? It won't be an NCAA violation because he is on the track to compete for the national team, the Olympic program.
A Hoosier political candidate arrested on a cocaine charge in Fishers is facing the same charge in another state.
Andrew Deslin, who's running for a state Senate district seat that represents Lawrence and parts of Hamilton County, was arrested in Fishers over the weekend on a cocaine charge.
He does have 3 pending cases in Wisconsin, 1 for possession of cocaine like today's case, and 2 others for operating while intoxicated.
Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office made the announcement in court Monday. Deslin's attorney expects that case to be handled soon. Meanwhile, a judge set Deslin's bail at $10,000. Ryan Hedrick, Network Indiana.
Ball State spring commencement ceremony Saturday. A link on the university's website shows all information, including parking and streaming details. It's on our local news page right now.
Former The Voice contestant, 24-year-old Dylan Carter, died after a single-vehicle car accident in South Carolina on Saturday. Carter earned a 4-chair turn while competing on season 24 of the singing competition series. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
A Hoosier political leader described what he first heard during the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday night.
Congressman Marlin Stutzman told Wish TV that he recognized the sound of gunfire and immediately dropped to the ground when he heard the shots.
And we got down below the table. I made sure that the ladies that were there beside me were under the table and everybody was low.
The White House Correspondents' Dinner took place at the Washington Hilton, the same hotel where President Reagan was shot in 1981. Stutzman said on Saturday there was hardly enough security to keep President Trump and his staff safe. Ryan Hedrick, Network Indiana.
Anderson resident Heather Bremer was driving into Washington, D.C. for a work conference Saturday night as the shooting during the White House Correspondents' Dinner was unfolding. It took more than 90 minutes to travel the last quarter mile to her hotel.
If I go out the front door of the hotel and look to the left, I can see the backside of the White House. So, yeah, we're very, very close. And that made it extremely difficult to get here.
The Senate Armed Services Committee will hear from Secretary Pete Hegseth, who is pushing for Pentagon funding of $1.5 trillion. The budget request includes money for the so-called Golden Dome missile defense system, aircraft procurement, drones, and funds to build more than a dozen Navy warships, among other things. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Governor Mike Braun told reporters Monday he's unlikely to suspend the state's gas excise tax, currently 36 cents per gallon, although he did say it's possible the current tax holiday might be extended beyond the May 8th deadline.
If I don't see the dynamic changing much, I'm likely to extend it.
Muncie planning their typical 2 events for Independence Day weekend.
Fireworks that'll be happening at 2 locations. One will be at Prairie Creek Reservoir, as usual. And that'll be a great show. And then the other one will be at downtown, right at Muncie Central. And so there's great viewpoints all around the downtown area.
Mayor Dan Ridenour says Prairie Creek is on that Friday and will include Ron Bonham Day activities as well. The IDOC is paying $1.2 million to settle lawsuits over horrific prison conditions following a 5-year legal battle.
The ACLU of Indiana has finalized settlements for 31 people held at the Miami Correctional Facility. The lawsuits claim that inmates were kept in near total darkness for months in cells with metal-covered windows and non-working lights. Jeanette Cruz, Network Indiana.
Governor Mike Braun highlighted the importance of skilled trade training and apprenticeship, among other things.
He says they give Hoosiers the chance to earn while they learn and step into strong careers. Jake McDaniel, Network Indiana.
Recently on social media, some random noise was made with posts about federal agents in Muncie, which were unfounded.
It's not uncommon that the feds are in Delaware County or Randolph County or Madison County or wherever they need they need to be to conduct their business.
That's Delaware County Sheriff Tony Skinner asking you to not be alarmed by what you see sometimes.
Just because they see a unmarked black Tahoe or something, that doesn't mean that ICE is in town, rounding up illegal aliens.
British driver Catherine Legg will make her return to the Indianapolis 500.
It was announced on Monday that Legg will be in the number 11 Chevrolet for HMD Motorsports in partnership with AJ Foyt Racing. Legg expressed gratitude for the opportunity and says it's important to have women in motorsports. John Herrick, Network Indiana.
You will hear the race on several of our Wolf Boom radio stations again this year.
King Charles is clearly hoping to repair strained ties between the U.S. and UK during this first official state visit of the second Trump administration. President Trump complimented King Charles for his success addressing Congress.
They liked him more than they've ever liked any Republican or Democrat, actually. So I just want to thank you and congratulations.
King Charles delivered an historic address to a joint session of Congress. He received a very warm bipartisan welcome.
Madison County Council candidate Corey Bolander has a long history in farming, and he has a specific message for the government from farmers.
Commodity prices are not high enough, and a lot of people are operating under the cost of production, which you can't do that very long. And a lot of it has been to do with the tariffs and trade issues.
The Hillcroft Services Golf Scramble fundraiser is May 14 and 15 at the Players Club in Yorktown. Email Marissa Carr to sign up. The address and phone numbers on our news page right now. More local every day on our free wolfboomnews.com.
Whoa. Okay, this one says you get a free phone if you switch. Hey, this one also says you get a free phone if you switch.
Yeah, they all do, hon.
Wait. The T-Mobile one says families saved over $3,700 versus the other big guys in the past 5 years. And their experience plans have Netflix included, plus a year of Dash Pass by DoorDash.
Hang on, let me see that. And a 5-year price guarantee? Oh yeah, we're switching.
That's what I'm talking about. Do we clap now, or?
I'm thinking high five.
At T-Mobile, get savings that keep stacking up. That's value you can feel every day. Switch now at T-Mobile.
Savings based on Harris X billing snapshots from Q3 2021 to Q4 2025 among accounts with 3+ voice lines compared to AT&T and Verizon, excluding discounts, credits, and optional charges. See harrisx.com/T-Mobile. Price guarantee on talk, text, and data. Exclusions like taxes and fees apply. See T-Mobile.com.
Here in Muncie, we know what it means to show up for one another. We celebrate our wins, big and small. And when times get tough, we lean in, not away. At WMUN, we're more than just a voice on the radio. We are your neighbor, your friend, your connection to what matters most. Every morning, we wake up with you, sharing the stories of our city, highlighting the heroes you don't always hear about, and cheering on the teams that carry our hopes on their shoulders. This isn't just news and sports. This is home. From the streets of downtown to the heart of Delaware County, we're here because you're here. Thanks for letting WMUN be part of your day. We're proud to be your hometown station. to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell, presented by Muncie Community School.
In Studio B, we have our next Meet the Candidate focus coming up right now, bringing up to the camera and the microphone Scott A. King, Republican candidate for the 5th Congressional District. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice
Thanks
to
for
be
coming
here.
in this morning. And
Thank you.
Start by just telling us a little bit about yourself. Why don't you?
Well, my name is Scott King, and I'm running for U.S. House of Representatives in 5th District. I grew up in Oakland, Indiana. It's a little burg in Lawrence Township. I went to Lawrence North High School and graduated in 1988. Decided I was going to work with my dad for a year and figure out the college thing, see what I wanted to do. Politics has always interested me, so this is the first time I've ran, but I see there's a need, so I threw my name in the hat. But after working with my dad, saving a little money and everything, I went to college. Went for a year to Vincennes University. I was a psychology major, music minor, and decided college was going to be paid by me if I wanted to continue that pursuit at that time in my life. So I joined the military, where I went and involved myself in everything high speed you could imagine with what all the options you can do in the military. I definitely didn't squander my opportunity to be young. I actually took on the responsibility to do airborne infantry, and spent a lot of time.
Service.
You're welcome. Spent a lot of time basically learning how to team build. So all this stuff, it really helped what I learned in the military after I got out. After I got out, I went into an electrical trade where I did some residential. I learned electrical in the residential facet, and then I went into commercial and industrial, and I worked for GE. And after many years of denying all the injuries and things that happened in the military, I went ahead and filed for compensation. I just didn't feel like it was necessary to do that my whole life. But I've had some injuries, fractured hip and different things with my back and stuff. So I went ahead and filed, and now I'm just trying to be a politician.
Well, we are thankful for you to be willing to serve in that regard. The obvious first question here, with two vying for the Republican nomination for this particular race, what would you say to people that would say that you're the right one to select on May 5?
We'll call my campaign Victoria Sparks 2.0.
Okay.
I want to carry on where she's left off. I think there's some things that she's done that's pretty good and very wonderful, actually. But I think I have to further some things that I notice need attention in government. I think these tariffs need to gain clarity on that, because tariffs were meant for no taxation in lieu of taxation, and here we've got tariffs and taxation happening to us. So I think they were just trying to replenish the coffers from COVID-19 stimulus checks, to be honest. So I think that when I go into this as a team builder, I'm going to approach it in a sense where I want to be very visible, very active, proactive, and try to sort out all the things that America needs answers to.
All right, Scott King is our guest this morning. A Meet the Candidates segment, continuing the series on WMUN's Delaware County Today. I'm Steve Lindell. What are the issues that you've heard most from constituents as you've been out there on the campaign trail? What are the one or two things you just are hearing about over and over and over?
Oh, my goodness. How long is the show? A lot of people are wanting to address the immigration issue. That's the big one that I've been finding. I'm not trying to avoid it and skirt the issue as much as I am try to bring. You can't really, to the constituents in that short amount of time, help them gain clarity in the big sense, because a lot of people are just saying, right away, just get rid of everybody. That costs money. As you know, Congress sets the budget and everything for the year, and we need to definitely address immigration, but also there's other issues with these data centers and things like that people are very concerned about. Myself, I'm worried, about the data centers and just things moving too fast. I think we need to put a moratorium on data centers and address immigration. That's what their constituents are worried about most.
We're going to ask you two specific questions about those topics, so I'm not surprised those are coming up as people are talking to you. But about immigration and customs enforcement, there's obviously been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of reaction. There's been a lot. What are your thoughts on what everybody calls ICE?
I believe ICE is there to do a job. I think they've a bad light's been shined on ICE. Personally, I think they have to do a job. I mean, who are you going to have address these issues? You have to have some kind of enforcement. So whatever they call it is going to get be shown in a bad light. Doesn't matter what they call it. They could call it, ABC, agency, and they're going to say, oh, it's the toddlers against the nice people, So I mean, you can't really do much about addressing immigration without enforcement. So we've got to start somewhere.
Scott King is the Republican candidate, one of them, for the 5th Congressional District. The primary is this coming Tuesday, May 5. Remember, it's a polling location of, in Delaware County anyway, the polling stations, the places are different. We'll explain that again to you in a little bit to make sure you know where you're going and you get out and get that vote done. The other topic we were going to talk about with you and all the candidates are data centers. You already alluded to that. If you were in this seat for the 5th Congressional District and it came to a vote for impacting how Indiana may or may not get a data center, what would your vote be? What would your idea be about that?
There's plenty of data centers in Indiana already. There's 2 very large ones going in, I think, around Plainfield and then up in Fort Wayne at the moment. So I think a moratorium would be the vote that I would push for, is just kind of put it on hold, slow everything down, let everybody know what they're facing in these communities, that when they get built and constructed, what they're going to entail as far as drain on water and power bills and things like that. I think they've even alluded to data centers being able to provide people energy, and their prices are going to go down. That seems like a trap to me. If they provide their own electricity and then your costs go down, that's still a data center there in your area, rural, taking up farmland and all the areas that should be put towards something else. I mean, data centers, we don't even know what they're really, the purpose is at this moment.
Scott King is candidate for the 5th Congressional District, Republican side of the ticket for the primary. Some national topics, and I would assume some of these sort of thoughts would have to do with your previous work in the military. You must have strong thoughts about Iran and what our military actions are there. Generally speaking, broadly speaking, why don't we speak about that topic first?
Iran is a hot topic at the moment, of course. The national attention has been put towards Iran, and of course mainstream media always kind of skews it and says it's a bad thing. I think, since 1979, Iran has been, the IRGC has been terrorizing the whole world. Donald Trump made a move that I think was a necessity, in the sense that these people were suffering there for 40 years and under this regime, totalitarian regime. It was terrible for them to have to suffer the loss of their freedom in the first place. So Iran, in my opinion, is a good idea to settle it. We have to settle it, though. We can't just go in and make a mess and then walk out and just leave everything up in arms and everybody, suffering over there. We have to actually follow through.
All right, great. We've reached the final moments of our segment with you. I give the same opportunity to all of our candidates that are in the chair here to meet the candidates. The floor is yours. What haven't we talked about today about Scott King that you want people to know about you?
I think the most important thing people need to realize is that I'm a team builder. I'm not sure that we have that. We see a lot of the people in D.C. right now trying to be team builders, and they're met with pushback, and everybody's looking at it. I don't want to give up for the people. I want to go in there and fight, roll up my sleeves, and get down and dirty, and actually get some things done for the people. I definitely can understand others' viewpoints, but the main viewpoint that I have to convey when in D.C. is that this is the direction of travel now. It's a new direction. We have to do it, or else, we're just going to continue suffering. Scott King means vote for me is going to say, hey, it's the normal everyday guy going in there and getting to work and getting busy for the people.
Well, Mr. King, I appreciate not only the fact that you've served our country in the military. I say that to everybody that I ever come across that has done that for me and for us. But I also say to all the candidates that are kind enough to give us their time in this particular segment and series, thank you also for your willingness to serve in this regard, because, as I've said to many other candidates, all of them actually that have done these interviews with me, I bet it's not easy. There are times where you're sticking your neck out there and putting yourself out there in certain ways that may be awkward or uncomfortable or just a little difficult. So thank you for being willing to do that. We appreciate you in that regard greatly.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Don't forget, everybody, we have the new Vote Center model. You're seeing on the video replay now some of the information from the Heart of Indiana United Way. They have vote resource page information posted on their website, free and accessible. And there's also information of how the vote centers in Delaware County work. Basically, it means convenience. You can go to any one of them from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on May 5. Please do get out and vote. All right? Get out and vote. More in a moment. This is WMUN.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. Despite Indiana having some of the strictest marijuana laws in the country, Hoosiers spend nearly $2 billion a year on cannabis products. That according to new data from the Indianapolis-based Richard M. Fairbanks Foundation. The studies show self-reported cannabis use has more than doubled in Indiana over the last decade, as access to cannabis products continues to expand beyond state lines. Emily Whitesell is Vice President of Impact and Evaluation at the Fairbanks Foundation.
Illinois, Michigan, and Ohio are all easily accessible by a drive.
Mishawaka-based Franciscan Alliance is taking a step to help address a shortage of physicians in Indiana by opening an osteopathic medical school in Crown Point. The school is set to be built on a 100-acre campus across from Franciscan Health Crown Point Hospital, though the health system did not disclose financial investment in the project. You're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
The internet changed how we work. AI is changing what work gets done. A bank cut loan processing from days to hours. A student built an AI scheduler, improving on-time delivery from under 70% to over 90%. Most teams know AI matters, but aren't sure where to start. InAI is Indiana's statewide AI adoption effort, built with industry, academia, and community partners, helping you move from understanding to action. Visit InAIReady.com.
Do you own an import-export business? If so, your company could save time and money with foreign trade zones. FTZs are designated sites across the United States where you can reduce, defer, and even eliminate import duties, helping you stay competitive in the global marketplace. And if you're in central Indiana, InZone will even cover the cost of a feasibility study to assess your potential savings, because smart companies get in the zone. Learn more at inzone.org.
Want to hear more? Replays uploaded daily on WMUNmuncie.com. Now back to Delaware County Today with Steve Lindell. Presented by Muncie Community Schools.
The voice of WMUN, Mr. Tom Campbell, who you hear a lot on this radio station. And we're very proud that beginning this Friday, May 1, we're launching something new that you will hear Tom Campbell doing for us. That's the only tease I'm giving you so far on that. Let's get a snapshot of your day today.
It's April 29th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is International Dance Day. It was created in 1982 and celebrated on the birthday of the creator of modern ballet, Jean-Georges Nivert, in 1727. Also on this day, an estimated 2 billion people around the world tuned in to watch a royal wedding in 2011. Great Britain's Prince William wed longtime girlfriend and commoner Kate Middleton in London. There were some 1,900 guests at Westminster Abbey, with another million lining the streets. In 1854, the first college for just African-American students is officially chartered. Ashman Institute was in southern Chester County, Pennsylvania. It went on to open in 1857. And passing away today in 1980, English screenwriter, director, and producer Alfred Hitchcock. Among his most well-known works, Rear Window, North by Northwest, and Psycho. I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Oh, Psycho, what a movie. WMUN's Delaware County Today will talk more about this over the next day or so to come. MuncieJournal.com has the story top and center. Lahody's Culinary Group to acquire Vera Mays, continuing a downtown Muncie tradition. That is the headline you're seeing on the YouTube page right now, youtube.com/WoofBoomStudioB. Lahody's of Lahody Meats fame, Ron Lahody, has announced that Vera Mays, the restaurant that was closed a short time ago in downtown Muncie, will be under their command and control. Read all about it on our free MuncieJournal.com. MuncieJournal.com. The editor-in-chief, Mike Rhodes, doing fantastic work for us and for you. And again, that URL is MuncieJournal.com. Next item is about saving you money. Everybody wants to do that. Generics might not be so bad.
Saving you money, I'm Hillary Barsky. If you're feeling squeezed at the grocery store, you might want to consider making the switch to store brands. Store brands are also known as private labels and are meant to compete with name brand goods. Some examples of store brands include Costco's Kirkland Signature, Walmart's Great Value, Whole Foods 365, among other labels. Now, store brands are typically cheaper than name brand products, and even if the price is just a few cents less, it can add up in the long run, according to Consumer Reports. In addition, Consumer Reports found that shoppers can save more than 60% when they buy store brand ketchup rather than the name brand. They also found the biggest savings were at Costco, Aldi, and Walmart, all about 50% less than the store brand on average, while Whole Foods had the least savings. And according to Taste, many store brands taste just as good and sometimes even better than the name brand, according to Consumer Reports' test of 70 products across different categories. Saving you money, Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
On WMUN News Talk, Sports Talk, Community Talk, the talk radio of Muncie. Wolf Boom Radio Group is our ownership over all and 6 formats included in the group. Many music stations doing great work, including our music and talk station in Anderson, Indiana. That is Oldies 101. The morning show happening there is called Anderson Journal, and that is hosted by our Zach Johnson and George Bremer every morning at the same time as this program. If you want to replay that anytime, you can go to their digital platforms and recover some of that data to see what's going on in nearby Anderson, Madison County. Next item that we're talking about this morning, let's see here. Here we go. Rob and Michelle Reiner's son faces another day in court today.
I'm Janley Painter with your Fox True Crime Minute. The legal battle for the son of a Hollywood legend intensifies in Los Angeles. 32-year-old Nick Reiner, the son of acclaimed filmmaker Rob Reiner, has pleaded not guilty to the first-degree murders of his parents and is scheduled for a court appearance today. Reiner is accused in the brutal December 14th stabbing deaths of his father Rob and mother Michelle Singer Reiner inside their Brentwood home. Currently held without bail at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility, the 32-year-old faces harrowing special circumstance charges of multiple murders and personal use of a knife. The tragedy has rocked the entertainment world, coming just months after the famed director of When Harry Met Sally and The Princess Bride was celebrated for his legendary career. Prosecutors have not yet detailed a specific motive, though court records highlight a history of mental health struggles and prior police visits to the family residence. Today's hearing is expected to set the stage for a preliminary trial. There's more on this story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime Podcast. I'm Janley Painter with your Fox True Crime Minute.
On WMUN, emanating from Studio B, it is a multi-purpose video and audio studio on the campus of Wolf Boom Radio on the south side of Muncie, Indiana, that houses, among other things, Delaware County Today. That's the program you're listening to and maybe watching right now. After our programs end inside the studio, we upload that to our YouTube page. You can subscribe or follow ours, Wolf Boom Studio B. Wolf Boom Studio B. Our intent is to use our voice to build and connect our community. Next item for this morning, Fox's Chad Pergram has more about the government's cut to a way to file taxes.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. Under former President Biden, the IRS engineered Direct File. It was a free tax filing program offered by the Internal Revenue Service to save taxpayers time and money. The Government Accountability Office praised the initiative for its design and accuracy, as 140,000 filers used the program. The IRS projected that 32 million Americans could benefit if Direct File were fully implemented. But the Trump administration, under the aegis of DOGE, killed the program. Democratic Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren took to the floor recently seeking unanimous consent to pass the Direct File Act. It would reverse the Trump administration's decision to end the program. But Republican Senator Mike Crapo of Idaho, the chair of the Senate Finance Committee, objected to Senator Warren's request and blocked passage of the bill. Opponents of Direct File say the program actually cost taxpayers money. They also say the taxpayers handed over their rights to the IRS to prep their taxes, collect their taxes, and enforce tax law. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Listeners everywhere to WMUN. Today, Portland, Oregon was on very early. I think Sister Sherry may have gone to bed. She disappeared from the screen. That's okay. Minnesota, I see you, my beautiful mama, and Roger. I mean, I can't see you, though I wouldn't be surprised if you wouldn't be able to do that somehow, some way. Technology is so weird. Los Angeles, Mansfield, Ohio, Louisville, Kentucky, Tijuana listening, some of those on the stream devices, most of you listening on the 92.5 terrestrial situation and scenario. All right, next item this morning, a potential risk increase.
This is House Call for Health. A new study suggests that those with heart, kidney, and metabolic issues could have an increased cancer risk. The study is published this week in the journal Circulation. It finds people with stage 3 cardiovascular kidney metabolic syndrome, or CKM, are 25% more likely to be diagnosed with one of 16 different types of cancer 4 years later. That's compared to those diagnosed with early CKM syndrome. The study also finds a person's risk of developing several cancers also sharply rises as CKM syndrome progresses to more advanced stages. CKM is a disorder that involves heart disease, kidney issues, and metabolic problems all happening at the same time. The American Heart Association says about 1 in 3 American adults have at least 3 risk factors for CKM syndrome. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
WMUN, an affiliate of Fox News Radio, updates right around the top of the hour, every day. From the 2022 archives, I'm not sure they're still with us, but a sweet story never dies.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A couple celebrating their 81st wedding anniversary makes today's Dean's List. Ron and Joyce Bond celebrated the incredible milestone earlier this month, which earned them the title of Britain's longest married couple. Joyce, who is 100 years young, says she never expected to reach 81 years of marriage, but they are very fortunate to achieved the amazing goal. She added, "There is no boss in our relationship. We both give and take." Her 102-year-old husband says, "Sometimes life is hard, but we work through it together. We look after each other too." They got married in 1941 and say it was love at first sight, even though their friends apparently warned the relationship wouldn't last long. Their daughter Eileen says, "My parents are truly an inspiring couple, not only to my brother and I, but to their grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren." Happy anniversary, Ron and Joyce. You both prove that marriage keeps you young at heart. Janice Dean, Fox News.
And thank you, Janice. We hope you recover and do well and better soon. I'm Steve Lindell for my producer, Aiden Foster, who will have a special day Friday with us doing the broadcast from the Axia Command Center. That's all I'm saying for now. Hey, Al, you know what's coming up, Dad, don't you? We'd like to thank you for listening from Studio B. This has been Delaware County Today, every day, 8 to 9 a.m. live and on Woof Boom Studio B's channel of YouTube.com. Have a great day.
If you're over 40, you've